good evening, and welcome back to Trip's Tales. Tonight we're taking one more look at the next chapter of our story, Island Walker. Tonight's episode 2, A Lesson on Fish. Beep, 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 beep. A hairy hand flew out of the sheets and slammed on the snooze button. The figure under the covers groaned in protest. He coughed and scratched his scruff, doing his best to push himself upright. His head throbbed as he stumbled through the poor excuse for an apartment towards the kitchen to make himself a much-needed cup of joe. Nothing made sense until that hot liquid dripped down his throat. He took a few deep breaths, remembering last night. There was some girl, way too much alcohol. Did I use... The man scavenged the trash until he found what he was looking for. Oh, thank God. He coughed again. I really need to take it easy. It's Tuesday, for Christ's sake. His empty fish tank did not respond. The lid wide open. Shit, where's Drip? Before he had a chance to look up, the octopus dropped from the ceiling and latched onto his face, giving him a strong hug. He screamed and yanked on his pet that detached from his face. Ripley, off! The mucus pooled into his eyes as he thrust Ripley back into her tank. Before closing and triple bolting the lid, the man checked if there was any alcohol in her water. Wouldn't be the first time. Oh, God. His eyes had drifted from Ripley to the stack of papers lying next to them. Please tell me I finished grading those. The young professor rushed to the front of the lecture hall only a few minutes late. Sweat beaded up at his forehead. His students whispered nasty gossips. Good morning, class. At the front of the room was a little stand reading Professor Cornelius Bighorn, Ph.D. The professor picked up the sign and threw his satchel in its place. I see Dr. Bighorn forgot this. Professor Eric Vigard, not Ph.D., cleared his throat. I have your test back, and we will go over any parts people have questions on. Then we'll get to the reading on the Breathless Slide saga, and I hope you did your reading this time because there will be a quiz at the end of class. The class groaned as Eric handed the test back. At the back of the room, he spotted his colleague and good friend, Bart Cochran. He often liked to sit and listen in on Eric's lectures. In fact, he had sat in on so many that he can tell when Eric was going through a bad hangover. The lecturer blushed. He knew Bart could tell and would probably berate him about it later. After the students all handed in their quizzes and vacated the premises, Bart approached his friend. He clapped his hands together. Good lecture, old boy. It'd be better if they actually did their damn reading. Ha! You'll know they'll never do it. Let me dream. Bart dropped his satchel right next to Eric's. Yes. Well, speaking of that, you'll never guess what I discovered in the library. He dipped his hands into his satchel and pulled out a thick booklet. No. Yes. Here's my question, though. Why didn't you never tell me what your thesis was really about? And why did you lead me to believe it was about Viking ship figureheads? I'll answer that if you tell me how you came across it. Bart nodded, so Eric caved. Well, I thought it was interesting, and I found all kinds of evidence to back up various claims, so I naturally found myself engrossed with the topic and wrote my thesis on it. I was afraid that you'd find out, or you'd think I was a hack or something. I just didn't want to be left out of the university. Eric, we've known ourselves for years. I got you an octopus. You could have told me at least. Honestly, I had forgotten about it. Eric eyed the papers in Bart's hands. I guess not entirely. Learning about things like that, it's different. And I kind of felt connected having a Norwegian heritage and all. I can see that. Bart flipped through the pages. A fascinating read. I just had to look through. You haven't told me why yet. A grin creased Bart's cheek. Yes, well, I was surfing the web seeing if any old artifacts were being sold on eBay that we could add to the collections, and I happened across something very interesting. There is on sale from Norway the tip of a knife that supposedly dates back to the saga of Over Otter. The 13th century. Now, this is eBay we're talking about, but it might be worth contacting this seller. Ha! I guess I did write a bunch about that in my thesis. Did they find it washed up or something? Bart's smile reached the ends of his face. On an island, yes. One that sank you down into the depths only a few minutes later. Eric's blood ran cold. Hafkafa, he stated instinctively. That, my friend, is what led me to your thesis. Hafkafa, the sea mist, the island all those men supposedly drowned on in that story. I had no idea what it meant, and one of my closest friends wrote pages upon pages on the subject. Come on, contact this guy. If you don't do it for you, do it for me. There has to be a part of you that wants to find out. Probably just the ravings of an old fisherman. No one's seen a Hafkafa in ages, but they used to. Nevertheless, if this artifact truly is dated to that era, that could be a great archaeological find. Context is everything, Bart. Then we'll have the people who found this thing show us. You said yourself that people have the complete wrong idea about this creature. That someone can't stand on a squid or whatever. It's an island. Well, what if there is something? Why are you so into this all of a sudden? Because I hit an unknown landmine with you, old boy. And I kind of want to spice up the old curriculum. What if you could teach a whole class on it? Oh, let me! I need to break things up a bit myself. I've worked here probably twice as long as you have. Fine. Send me the information. I'll contact the guy. Ha, yes! Have you ever wanted to see one? Did you read my thesis? People could just die by being near it because of the whirlpools from its immense size. But I guess maybe from a safe distance? Then again, what distance is safe from the might of the Kraken? Yes, what is to come next? Well, you'll find out next time on Trip's Tales.